Hello there. Hi, everybody. Okay, so how would you like to know how to reset your body, reset your metabolism in 21 days so that you can start to burn fat more naturally, you shed some belly fat, go buy a muffin top, and you start to skyrocket your health? Sounds good, right? Yes? Yes? Okay, awesome. Yes, that sounds great. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And you want to stick around for the next 20 minutes because I'm going to go over how to do a total body reset in 21 days. And I'm also going to be sharing, so you got to stick around to the very end, my killer M&M method, okay? This is a method that I use to help reset the body in 21 days. And I'm literally going to just briefly go over it today so that you have the basic outline of it and you can do your own 21-day total body reset. All right. Now, just in case we have not met, I am Alicia Murphy, and I help busy people get ridiculously fit. So I have helped hundreds of people go from overweight, unhealthy, frustrated to feeling energetic and youthful and being super fit, right? So here we go, my friend. Let's jump right in to how to do a total body reset in 21 days so that we can start to more naturally burn fat and get healthier. All right, now I gotta start by saying that if you have been struggling to lose weight, if you have been struggling to get in better shape, or all of a sudden you're starting to notice that you're gaining weight right in your midsection, it's really likely because of an imbalance in your metabolic hormones, okay? So this is why this is so important, is that your body goes through changes over the period of your life, okay? It's gonna go through several changes. And when your body changes, it changes hormonally, right? And a lot of this affects your metabolism. So if you don't nip that in the bud and get your metabolism, your hormones back on track, then your metabolism's gonna keep getting slower and slower and more sluggish, and it's gonna be harder and harder to get in shape. So doing a total body reset, having this tool is awesome for you to have in your back pocket so that you can use it whenever you feel like, you know what, I think I need to rebalance my metabolism. I think that I need to do a reset. And that can help your metabolism to stay flexible, because that's what we want. We want a flexible metabolism. A flexible metabolism, it's able to handle anything you throw at it. It means when your metabolism is flexible, it means you are healthy naturally, okay? So that's what we want to do. Now, here's what happens most of the time. By the way, you can see sweet little Izzy back here chilling. She's my sidekick. Okay, what is happening when we decide, you know what, I want to lose some weight. I want to shed some fat. I want to up my health. So what do? We decide I'm going to exercise more and eat less, right? Isn't that what we've always been told? Exercise more and eat less. All right, here's the problem with that. When you start doing all of a sudden all this exercise and all of a sudden you dramatically cut your calories, you are stressing out your metabolism from two sides, okay? All of a sudden you're working out like crazy and your body's like, okay, we are having some serious issues here. We're moving a lot. All of a sudden, for some reason, like we're being chased by hungry tigers a lot. So let's start to tell this person like, hey, you need to eat more calories. Hey, give them cravings so that they take in more junk to make us have more energy, okay? So that's what's happening on the one side. Now on the other side, you've got the eat. Hi, Michelle, nice to see you. You've got the eat less. So your body is stressing out from the eat less side because it's like, oh my God, we might be in famine here. Let's please store as many calories and fat as we possibly can because this is a serious situation. So when we go into that model of exercise more and eat less, this is what is happening, okay? We're stressing our body out. We're stressing our metabolism out from two sides. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't work. The exercise more, eat less will burn fat in the short term. That's the catch. It only works for a short amount of time before your metabolism actually starts to slow down and you start to store more fat, okay? Now, how long will it work? So for women, it generally is gonna work about, oh, bless you, about 3 or 4 weeks, okay? So you're good at 3 weeks, maybe 4. Men generally can make it till about 5 weeks before they start to like have some serious issues with their metabolism. So we can do this for about 3 weeks is a safe side, okay? After that, it's not gonna work anymore. Okay, so, sorry, I have my notes here. What do we wanna do? All right, we want to follow some type of a program that is exercise more, eat less. You can do that, but after 3 weeks, you need to change it up. So you've got to remember that your metabolism adapts. So we've got to always be kind of changing up what we're doing. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I just wanted to start with that, but now let's get into what you really want to hear about, and that is the M&M method. What you can do to reset your body in 21 days using the M&M method, okay? And yeah, you know, I always say this, it's not eating M&Ms. I wish. Could you imagine how rich I would be if that was what I would tell you to do and it worked? Okay, but that's not it. So the M&M method, we only do this for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then we need to transition out of it, okay? So you can use the M&M method whenever you feel like you need a reset. So what would that be? What times would that be? Okay, after a vacation, because what do we do when we go on vacation? We kind of let loose, and that's okay. You're eating more, maybe you're drinking more alcohol, you're not exercising as much, and then we come back from vacation, and what do we tend to do? We tend to stick with that, right? So that would be a good time to be like, I need to do the M&M method. And listen, you don't have to do it for the whole 21 days. So if you come back from vacation, maybe you just do it for 7 days, just to get yourself back on track, right? After the holidays is a great time to do the M&M method for 21 days. After a stressful time in your life, I call them seasons. So you just went through a really intense period in your life, really stressed out, and now probably your metabolic hormones are kind of jacked up because listen, cortisol is the stress hormone. It's one of your metabolic hormones, okay? So if you've been real stressed out, likely there's been a effect on your metabolic hormones, because this is the thing about hormones. It's like they're like a symphony, like an orchestra. If one of them is out of tune, others start to get affected. So if you have one hormone that's out of whack, then it's not gonna take long till there's 2, 3, 4, maybe more that are also out of whack. So we really, really want to, if we've gone through a stressful time, that's a good time to then jump on the M&M method. Okay, so here's how the M&M method works. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. And I hope you have this biggest, fattest notebook ever in front of you right now, because I want you to take some notes, man. This is like golden information, okay? This is like, here's the keys to the kingdom, okay? So take notes. All right, here we go. So the M&M method. The M's each stand, there's 2 M's, right? M and M, they each stand for something, okay? And here's what they stand for. The first M stands for manage your metabolism, okay? Manage your metabolism. The second M stands for manage your shizzle. Ha! Manage your stress, okay? So manage your metabolic hormones, manage your metabolism, okay? That's the first M. The second M is manage your stress. So before we get into how to manage your metabolism, I'm gonna start with manage your stress, because this is what happens. People really underestimate how important managing your stress is when you want to either lose weight or elevate your health. It's everything, because let me tell you something. If you are overwhelmed by stress, so if your body is perceiving things as stressful too much, it doesn't matter if you have the most perfect diet, if you're doing the best workouts for what you want to achieve, none of that will matter. You will not get results if your body is overly stressed, okay? That is the truth. And so everyone always turns to diet and nutrition when they want to get in shape. And yeah, those are 2 important things. But the third pillar, the third necessary ingredient is managing your stress, okay? I cannot emphasize this enough. And I'm gonna go into more of that right now. So let's all understand something. What is stress exactly, right? It's because we know emotional stress, right? We get upset with somebody, or, you know, we're in rush hour traffic. Like, we understand the emotional stress, and your body perceives that as stress, obviously. But there are things that maybe you don't realize that your body perceives as stress, okay? So let's go over a few of those things. A lack of sleep, okay? This is a biggie because, you know, most Americans are not getting enough sleep. If you are not getting enough sleep, your body will perceive that as stress, okay? Which means that your stress hormone will go up, all right? And what's another one? Dehydration. So if you're not getting enough water and you're even in a mild state of dehydration, which again, most Americans are, your body perceives that as stress. Pain. If you're having pain, you know, maybe your shoulder's hurting or some other pain in your body, that is stress on your body. Okay, here's one that people don't often realize. A crappy diet. If you're eating a bunch of junk all the time, that is stress on your body. It actually raises your stress hormones, okay? So yeah, I'm not saying you can't have, you know, a little treat here and there. That's okay. Your body can handle that. But when you are having overly processed foods on a regular basis, it stresses your body out. Okay, what about a food intolerance? Yes, it stresses your body out. So if you have a food intolerance that you don't know about, and gluten and dairy, they're like the two biggest ones, that is stress on your body. And then the last one I want to talk about is over-exercising, overtraining. I see this with a lot of people. They're not getting results and they're like, I'm working out 5 or 6 days a week. Why am I not getting results? But they're in this constant state of stress. And then they're going and working out, and that's putting them in more stress, more fight or flight. And so their cortisol is high all the time, which is making their body store fat, okay? So what happens, and this is where I'm gonna talk about why. Why does cortisol, high cortisol, make you store fat? So what happens when your body's stressed out? So let's talk about when we go into fight or flight, all right? So first of all, so let's say, you know, something happens, you get stressed out. And it could be one of the things we mentioned, or maybe you're just like, you know, emotionally stressed out, whatever. So your cortisol goes up, right? Now, the body is like, okay, Alicia's super duper stressed out, and your body doesn't know that it's just an email that you're pissed off about, right? Your body thinks like, possibly we're being chased by a hungry animal, so we need to shut down all processes in the body and get energy to Alicia so she can run from this tiger, okay? So now, what does that mean? That means my body is gonna pump sugar into my bloodstream, so my blood sugar is gonna go up because it thinks I need this immediate source of energy, okay, in order to run from that tiger. Okay, so now what I'm left with is I've got high cortisol, I've got high blood sugar because my body thinks I'm in danger, and then really all I'm doing is sitting at my computer and not moving much for the day. So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen with all that blood sugar? With all the sugar that's in my blood, it's gonna get stored as fat. So understand how important the stress connection is to you getting in shape, okay? Because if you're constantly stressed, you are going to store fat. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so the one thing I wanna mention is you either are gonna be in fight or flight or rest and digest. You're not gonna be in both at the same time, okay? You're in one or the other. And I heard a stat the other day that blew my mind. It said most Americans spend 70% of their day in fight or flight. 70% of your day. That is not good, folks. That means 70% of your day you are spent in a state where you are going to be storing fat, okay? Not good. So this is why we have to manage stress. It's critical, okay, if you want to get in shape. So I would almost say start with this before you worry about the food and the exercise, okay? Because those things won't work with the stress. Okay, now this is what I'd like to suggest that you do. Instead of trying to avoid stress, because you know what, stress-free is a bunch of BS. It's delusional, right? So what we want to do is inject our day with times to come down from the stress. I call that Zen monkey time, okay? So think of fight or flight as your stress monkey, and then the rest and digest is your Zen monkey. So don't avoid the stress monkey. Don't worry about that guy. Let's instead tap into our Zen monkey more often during the day. So just a few quick examples. Slow to moderate walking, that lowers your cortisol, okay? Gentle yoga. I'm not talking about these hot yoga places where, you know, you're dripping in sweat and you're like going crazy. No. These nice, gentle yoga that is focused on stretching, gentle stretching and breathing, that's going to lower your cortisol. Laughing lowers your cortisol, okay? So, you know what? Get your laugh on. Bubble bath, listening to music that moves you, creativity. Just coloring, the act of coloring or doodling lowers your cortisol. So just try to come up with some ways, even if it's just 2 minutes of sitting there focusing on taking some deep breaths, because deep breaths really helps to lower your cortisol. But just starting to try to really intentionally every day come up with something like, okay, I need to come down. I need to Zen monkey. I need to come down from that cortisol. Okay. Does this make sense, guys? I hope so. Okay. You ready to hear about the metabolism now? Because I know that's what you guys want to know about. Okay, so the other M, manage your metabolism. Manage your metabolic hormones. Okay, so for the 21 days that you're going to do the M&M method, we've got the one M is manage your stress. The other M, manage your metabolism. And we're going to manage our metabolism in 2 ways. Okay, good. Yes, La Trixie, good. I'm glad that makes sense. Okay. Managing the metabolism in 2 ways. Number 1, we're going to manage it through movement. And number 2, we're going to manage it through the food we eat. Okay? Now, first let's talk about movement. When you are doing a reset, you kind of want to be careful about doing too much intense exercise. Why? Because of the cortisol that we just talked about. If you have too much cortisol going on, the intense exercise is not going to help your body to start to regulate the cortisol better because you're bumping it up too often. So listen, I'm all about some good ass-kicking workouts. Don't let me mislead you there. However, I think there are times that you need to focus more on the nutrition, focus more on your stress management, and less on intense exercise, okay? Because a lot of times we're inflamed from stress, from food intolerances, from the environment. So when you have inflammation going on, more likely you're going to store fat and really bad for your health. Most chronic disease is stemmed from inflammation. So that's the thing, is if you're doing this 21 day, and the beautiful thing of it is you're not already working out, then this is perfect for you, because the emphasis here isn't on working out. The emphasis is on moving though, okay? So I'm not saying you sit on your duff all day. We want to move often, okay? That's what we're meant to do. Our bodies are meant to be walking around a lot. So slow to moderate walking. I cannot push this on you enough. And it's really the most beneficial if you break it up throughout the day. So, you know, maybe if you have time, you go for like a 10 or 15 minute walk in the morning. At your lunchtime, maybe you can go for 10, 15, 20 minute walk. You invite your coworkers, you know, go walk with somebody. And then after dinner, right? Take the family or go by yourself or take your dog or whatever. But if you can break it up 2 or 3 times, I promise you, you will notice a huge difference in your body, in the way you're feeling, in your energy, okay? So that's the first part of managing our metabolism. We're gonna get out, we're gonna walk, and again, slow to moderate. I'm not talking power walking. I don't wanna see any of this going on. It's just a nice, relaxing stroll, okay? That is the movement key, the movement component, I mean. The other component, food. Okay, and now, this is what we all wanna know about. What do I eat? Okay, so first I wanna say, do calories matter? Yes. Of course they do. You can't have 6,000 calories of carrots and expect that you're gonna see changes. It's not gonna happen. So yes, calories do matter. However, what matters more? Your metabolism being balanced. So you can have the exact perfect amount of calories for your body, but if your metabolism is all wonkadoo, it's not gonna help you. You are going to store fat and your health will take a hit. So let's not worry about the calories right now. Let's not focus on that, okay? Let's focus on what do we do to balance our metabolism. And I like to call it smart nutrition because it's smart, okay? And the emphasis is on stable blood sugar, okay? I mean, honestly, I tell people this all the time and nobody ever talks about this, okay? Stable blood sugar is the secret to you being naturally in shape, okay, and healthy. If you were to focus on just keeping your blood sugar stable, then I'm telling you the side effect would be you would just start to naturally lose some weight, naturally shed some belly fat, and your health would come up, okay? That's it. Now, I know that a lot of people, when I say blood sugar, I know it's not sexy. It's not like, ooh, the new latest and greatest, but it is the truth, okay? And this is science-based. This is our biology. And even though we're all individuals, this is the one thing that we all need, okay? So I'm gonna go through with you a day in what exactly do you eat then? And what I'm gonna go through with you here is going to result in you getting stable blood sugar, okay? So, simple guidelines. This is simple guidelines, a simple overview. I'm gonna go through a day of eating with you to balance your metabolism. All right, and then remember, our focus is on keeping the blood sugar stable, okay? It's always your emphasis. So, for breakfast, we want to avoid carb loading at breakfast. Oh my gosh, I'm doing the Bill Clinton hand, you guys. Oh, wow. Okay, so what happens, and I did this on my Instagram story yesterday. This was my Tuesday tip yesterday, so if you saw that, you already know this, but let's realize that in the mornings, your cortisol is already naturally higher, and it's supposed to be, okay? We're supposed to have higher cortisol in the morning to get us through the day, and then it tapers down over the course of the day, and before bed, it should be low. So what did I tell you earlier? High cortisol means high blood sugar, okay? So in the mornings, you already naturally have high cortisol, which means your blood sugar is already gonna be a little bit higher. Now, if you go have all these carbs for breakfast, which is what most Americans do, donuts, bagels, whatever, cereal with milk, that is full of carbs. So now if you're gonna say you have a desk job or you're not very active, you're starting your day with high blood sugar up here. And remember, when you have high blood sugar, unless you are going out and running or doing something where you physically need it, like if you have an active job, if you do not have an active job and your blood sugar is high, you will store fat. You will store fat. And then here's what else happens. So you start your day with high blood sugar. Eventually, which means I'm storing fat, it's gonna crash. It's always gonna come down. Once it crashes, okay, so now you have low blood sugar. You're putting your body in a state of stress. Your body kind of starts to panic, so it starts to send signals to you through your brain that you are hungry, even though you probably shouldn't be, right? But your body's like, our blood sugar's low. I'll make Alicia eat right away and make her have cravings for fatty foods, for sugary foods, okay? So we went high, we're storing fat, we crashed, our body's trying to make us eat because it's panicking that we have low blood sugar. So we do it, and here we go right back up, and the cycle continues, okay? This is what most people are doing. If you can start your day instead with mostly protein, vegetables, and a little fat, you are gonna be golden. You are gonna have your blood sugar right where you want it. And guess what? You're not gonna have those crazy cravings. You're not gonna get hungry when you shouldn't be, okay? So for breakfast, what could we have? We could have a veggie omelet with some avocado or like a veggie frittata. If you're like, vegetables at breakfast, you're crazy, you can make yourself a smoothie. And I think smoothies are a really awesome idea for most people because it's easy to digest, okay? Do not put a bunch of fruit in your smoothie because if you do, what happens? Blood sugar. Fruit is sugar. We gotta remember that, fruit is sugar. If you wanna put fruit in your smoothie, only berries, okay? Berries are lower in sugar. So here's a perfect smoothie for you. A cup of unsweetened almond milk, throw in a handful of spinach, blend it up to get all the chunks out, add 1 scoop of a really good quality protein powder, and a half a cup of frozen berries, okay? Cup of unsweetened almond milk, handful of spinach, blend it, scoop of protein powder, half a cup of frozen berries. Bam, that could be your breakfast, okay? Next, we wanna wait at least 3 hours until we eat again. Why? We wanna make sure, because our blood sugar is gonna come up a little bit from eating, okay? And we wanna make sure we give it time to come back down before we eat again. It's really important, okay? So between breakfast and lunch, you need at least 3 hours, maybe more like 4. But if you're not having all those carbs, you shouldn't be hungry. You should be nice and stable. Okay, so for lunch, we just want to have a salad with protein or soup or maybe a little of both, okay? Keep it simple. And then again, we're waiting for 3 to 4 hours. Now, between lunch and dinner is usually a pretty good chunk of time, right? That might be 7 hours, 6 hours. So if you need an afternoon snack, a mid-afternoon snack, that's okay. But you want to make sure, again, that if you're going to have something carby, which I don't recommend, but if you are, make sure you're also having some sort of fiber with it, okay? Because the fiber is going to help to buffer the high blood sugar, all right? But you're better off having for snack, you know, maybe like veggies and hummus or some nuts, hard-boiled eggs, something like that. Dinner time. Now here we go with dinner. Protein and veggies, okay? And now you can have a little bit of some starch, some starchy carbs, okay? And I know you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why at night? It really helps. The carbs help to quelch your cortisol. So if we have it at night, and I'm not talking a lot, right? A serving of carbs, okay? So, you know, maybe that's like half a cup of sweet potatoes or half a cup of rice or whatever it is. It's actually gonna help to soothe your body. For most people, it helps them to sleep better, okay? So that's our dinner, protein, veggies, a serving of starch. Then we're gonna go for at least 12 hours between our final meal at night and our breakfast, okay? So if you've finished eating at 7:30, you're not eating again, you make that stress monkey smoothie at 7:30 the next morning. And that's it, there you go, for 21 days. If you follow that, you will be able to help your metabolic hormones balance out. Okay, I hope this is all making sense for you guys, but what I want